The film PM Narendra Modi has finally got a release date, and they went through quite a lot, besides the fact that they've been in the headlines anyway. Is this a relief? I'm sure it is.
Firstly, Rudrani, it's always a pleasure being on your show, chatting with you.
Thank you so much, Vivek.
And I'm looking forward to all the interesting questions you always pose.
Thank you, Vivek.
Yeah, of course, I think it's a release for us. This release is a big relief for us.
Right?
Yeah,
it is. Yes,
it's a big relief for us because generally making movies is the tough part, but in this particular case, it was releasing the film that was the tough part. We went through a lot of unnecessary struggle, which I think was completely undemocratic on the part of a lot of political parties to continually attack us, attack our right to free speech, right to freedom of expression, drag us into 4 high courts, and then after that into a Supreme Court, Election Commission, left, right and center. But finally, on 23rd of May, PM Narendra Modi आ रहे हैं और 24th of May पे भी PM Narendra Modi सिनेमा घरों में आ रहे हैं.
You in no way could see what Election Commission had a point there when they said that, when a particular film, a big film like that comes in, it has the power to influence people and votes might get influenced. No, so you didn't think there was a point there?
No, of course there's a point there. But the country works on a system, right? There's a law. So there's something called the Model Code of Conduct. Now, we went to legal experts before planning our release strategy. And everybody went through the Model Code of Conduct and said there is nothing against a biopic. So what was happening is that it's a very fluid document. You can keep changing it. I'm okay if you change it and introduce new laws, new rules. You've been talking to us, hearing about it in the courts as you've been a party to it. There's an oral submission in the court by the Election Commission saying that, look, as long as the censor censors it according to the Model Code of Conduct, we're okay. They're the authority. One night before the release of our film, in 40 countries, the prints are already out there, promotions are already done. One night before, you get a call saying you can't release the film tomorrow. That is retrospective application. So today, if Rudrani makes, 1 crore of rupees and she pays 35% tax, tomorrow if the tax changes to, say, 55%, and I call up Rudrani and say, now the tax has changed to 55%, so please make sure that for the last 5 years, you have to pay 55% on all the earnings that you made. That's called retrospective application. That is wrong.
So you felt you clearly saw a foul play. आपको
Yeah,
लगा कि वो
of
foul
course.
play था कि वहाँ
मुझे
पे
लगा
कोई
कि
like it was not Election Commission acting on its rules like that.
हम लोग बहुत कंफ्यूज हो गए बिकॉज इलेक्शन कमीशन बहुत बड़ी बॉडी है, एक इंस्टीट्यूशन है, उसको रिस्पेक्ट करना जरूरी है. लेकिन मन में तो सवाल आता है कि किसने कौन सा बटन दबाया कि सडनली इलेक्शन कमीशन ने रातों रात अपना मन बदल लिया, आपकी पिक्चर रुकवा दी. पिक्चर रुकवाई ठीक है, उसके बाद बोला नहीं अब आपके प्रमोशंस भी हमको रोकने पड़ेंगे, उतार दो सारे प्रमोशन, जितने ऑनलाइन है सब प्रमोशन उतार दो. ये क्या है? अच्छा, फिर हम अप्रोच किए, हमने कहा ठीक है, जहां जहां इलेक्शन खत्म हो गया है, जैसे महाराष्ट्र, गुजरात, 3rd phase, 4th phase खत्म हो चुका, देयर इज नो मोर इलेक्शंस हियर, नोबडी टू इन्फ्लुएंस हियर. यहां तो हमको कम से कम प्रमोशंस करने दो, पिक्चर नहीं रिलीज करने दो, प्रमोशंस. उसका भी कोई जवाब नहीं. तो जब उनको चाहिए तो रातों रात वो बात कर लेते हैं, जब हमको जवाब चाहिए तो वो 4-4 हफ्ते खींच लेते हैं कि चलो इलेक्शन खत्म हो जाएगा फिर कौन सा. दिस इज आई थिंक रॉन्ग. दूसरा क्या होता है, हम इन्फ्लुएंस की बात करते हैं तो जैसे एक न्यूज़पेपर है, करोड़ों लोग पढ़ते हैं, एडिटोरियल कॉलम में किसी ने गवर्नमेंट को पैन किया, किसी की पॉलिसीज को पैन किया, किसी लीडर के बारे में कुछ कहा, वो भी तो इन्फ्लुएंस है. तो वो भी रोक दो. फ्रीडम ऑफ स्पीच आप कहां तक रोकोगे?
But critiquing the government by journalists will always happen because we are not supposed to do that.
Acha, journalist is a special citizen.
No. I feel
I'm also an equal citizen as a journalist.
I agree.
Why can't I say it? So whether I make a film that's critical or not critical. See, today I want to ask you another thing. Logically, autobiographies and biographies तो सब जगह हैं. जी. Still आप रास्ते पे जाके खरीद सकते हो, रेलवे स्टेशन पे जाके खरीद सकते हो, बुक स्टोर में जाके खरीद सकते हो. वो भी तो इन्फ्लुएंस करता है. उसको रोका किसी ने? This I felt was wrong. ये आप नहीं कर सकते हैं कि आप इन्फ्लुएंस. अच्छा, एक्ट में अगर कहीं लिखा है कि भाई इस दौरान कोई बायोपिक नहीं बन सकती, तो हम समझ सकते, हम नहीं बनाते. हम बनाते या बाद में रिलीज करते या पहले रिलीज करते. आपने लिखा भी नहीं है. यू हैव नॉट बैंड इट इन एनी वे. व्हाट हैव यू बैंड इन द एक्ट? यू सेड नो एडवर्टाइजिंग. हम एडवर्टाइजिंग थोड़ी कर रहे हैं, हम तो पिक्चर बना रहे हैं. ये टेक्निकल मामला है, ज्यादा लोगों को समझ में नहीं आएगा, लेकिन हमने बहुत पढ़ा है इसको.
No, I understand, and I also feel that, see, when it comes to like banning all the books that are around him and or otherwise, also I feel like movies hands down will be the biggest platform to market or
Influence someone.
influence.
No, but
I mean, you don't agree that films
I
have
agree
this?
with you. But I
You
want to
do,
ask you a
right?
principal question. I want to
Sure.
ask you a fundamental question
Sure.
because you're a very intelligent person. Tell me something. Does one vote matter or not?
I think every vote counts.
Right?
Every
If
vote
every
counts.
vote counts, whether you can influence one vote or 1,000 votes or 1 lakh votes, the principle is the same. Whether you kill one person or you kill 100 people, you're still a murderer. The principle of law doesn't apply in quantity.
Yeah.
It applies in absolute. If a law is a law, आपने 1 रुपए चोरी किया, 10 रुपए चोरी किया, 1 लाख रुपए चोरी किया, आप चोर हो. चोरी चोरी. So I feel that that kind of application of the law should be unbiased. There's a reason जहाँ पे अंधा कानून के ऊपर पट्टी लगी रहती है कि भाई law is the law for everyone. It doesn't see ऊपर
Yeah,
नीचे ज़्यादा कम.
the law is for everybody.
Correct.
So, you know, but just to follow up on that question, and I'd like you also to weigh in, ki, when since we're talking about election commission and what happened, they also mentioned that they felt the film was portraying him in a certain way and putting him up on a pedestal and, you know, portray him like this hero, which might be again problematic if it's not a non-propaganda film, which they, you know, brought up in conversations as well. Do you really, you know, since you are the director, you are someone, do you felt, what did you think of this when this came out?
If he's a hero, I will show him as a hero. I'm not saying anything which is not there. It's a biopic. So that's his life and everybody knows his life. You've read about him. He's a chaiwala who became a prime minister. I've said the same thing. What's wrong in that?
Absolutely. I think Omung has a
I
really
think
valid and
glorifying
strong
was
point.
what people
No, what
were
is
saying.
glorifying? It's the
Okay.
facts that we know. We read the paper. Ye hua incident, I'm sure that.
Here what I'd like to say generally,
Yeah.
Rudrani, is that the accusation is कि आप उन्हें हीरो बना रहे हैं. हम नहीं बना रहे भैया, वो हीरो हैं इसीलिए हम फिल्म बना रहे हैं.
That's what.
You
वो
feel
हमारे
he's an
लिए
inspirational
नहीं,
figure
करोड़ों लोगों
already.
के लिए हीरो हैं. दुनिया में, देश में, विदेश में hundreds of crores of people look up to नरेंद्र मोदी. दुनिया के एक आला नेता जिसके followers अपने आप को छाती ठोकर भक्त कहते हैं. There's a sense of devotion around him. So he is a hero. We are just portraying that on film. The second thing is that Omung was very clear on day one. Look at Omung's films. Look at Mary Com. Look at Sarabjit. What is the common thread? They're inspirational films. His idea was very clear. I'm not making a documentary, Vivek. I want to make an inspirational film. I want to take the fact. I mean, I love how you told me that. You know, when we started on this film, Omung's first pitch to me was just imagine you and I in a time machine. We've gone back to 1960s, and we're in a train, and suddenly a kid comes. You know, मिट्टी के कुल्हड़ में वो हमको आके चाय पिला रहा है, and then Omung tells me, you know that kid Vivek, he'll be Prime Minister of India one day. He's going to look eye to eye to Donald Trump. He's going to, you know, shake hands with Obama. He's going to, you know, walk shoulder to shoulder with the Prime Minister of Japan. Would you believe it? A kid like that selling tea in a little, Vadnagar railway station. That's the incredibleness of this story. The amazing.
Exactly. I mean, because what happened there, I mean, I got coming back to, I'm not a political person. मैं बोल के थक गया हूँ.
जी.
Okay. Why?
थोड़ा मुश्किल होता है. The movie is a little political.
No, but the thing is, no, I'm looking at one guy. Okay, like exactly. I've, like, अभी वहाँ स्टेशन पर पहुँच गए.
जी.
Now I followed him through. I've gone to his house. I've gone कहाँ रहता है, कैसे चाय बेचता है, कौन से स्कूल में पढ़ता है. अरे ये कौन है भाई? कहाँ छोड़ के चला गया सन्यास? क्या किया? How did he come back?
क्यों सन्यास के लिए गया और अगर
these
गया
are
तो वापस
questions that I
क्यों
want
आया?
to know. हाँ.
आपके लिए सिर्फ ये एक इंस्पायरिंग स्टोरी है. There's nothing more to it. Is
To
that?
me, yes.
Yeah, just
When
that.
we are making a film, yes. It is unbelievable, ना? 1960 में आपने एक चाय वाले को देखा, वो बोले ये प्राइम मिनिस्टर बनने वाला है. You will believe no. So it's inspiring.
I'll tell you one more thing that's really interesting. That you know, the whole aspect कि भाई एक हम बायोपिक क्रिएट कर रहे हैं, हम किसी को फॉलो कर रहे हैं, इंस्पिरेशनल एस्पेक्ट देख रहे हैं. Which is the greatest biopic that's been made? According to me, it's Gandhi by Attenborough. You go online and read the reviews of Gandhi back then. It's one of the greatest films ever made. It's won some of the greatest awards. We are nowhere in comparison with Gandhi. We are nowhere in comparison. But when you look at the reviews, there are people at that time who've panned the film, saying, "Arey, you're deifying him, you're glorifying him. Where's the human element? Where's the darker sides? Where's the fact that he was a bad husband? Where's the fact that he was a bad son, a bad father? Sorry, yes, a bad father to Harilal. They keep asking those questions too, back then. But did Attenborough make a film to show, look, here's the story of a bad father? No. He said, here's the story of a father of a nation. A guy who came, devoted his entire life, and because of that he had to sacrifice his personal family and personal life and personal happiness to create happiness and independence and freedom for this great nation. So I think there's a take. This is an inspirational take. Naysayers will point fingers at everything. So we don't really care about that.
But it's an interesting thing that you pointed this out about Gandhi and the fact that they questioned about the darker side, because but every human being has grey shades. I wouldn't say completely dark. No one can be,
Sure.
Even in an inspiring story, even if it's a biopic, you can show aspects of his life that were questioned repeatedly.
100%, yes.
Obviously none of us have seen the film. We've seen what the trailer is, and it'll probably only you can tell me. Do you think you feel you've been fair in the aspect of showing those parts as well?
Have. In fact,
You've
if
shown
there
the
is no-
controversial aspects of his life.
in a biopic or in anybody's life, if there's not a downfall, there's not a uprising.
Correct.
So we're looking always for that. So ये तो बहुत अच्छी जिंदगी जी रही है, मैं क्यों बता रहा हूँ इसकी story? There's nothing. So there has to be a downfall, and we have shown exactly what the facts
You've shown
are.
conflicts.
Yeah, there are facts, there are figures, everything which you critics, yeah, everybody's
shown
there.
that.
Yes.
Yes, critics,
आप
enemies,
ट्रेलर में देख लो
opposition.
ना, ट्रेलर में accuse कर रहे हैं directly.
So it's all there.
It's all there.
It's all there. But it's an inspirational take. So the idea is, when that happens to you, how do you rise above it?
How do you come out of it, and how do you?
That's what makes a hero, right? How you rise above the challenges and the difficulties, it's what makes a hero. And that's, I think, what Modi ji's life has been all about.
I think again and again, and because you are someone who's a part of the film fraternity, even you, it has come up a lot of times in conversations, and even now today so much in social media, it's been discussed how the ruling government and its leaders have used Bollywood and Bollywood actors sometimes and a lot of times to sort of, make their own PR. Have, by showing their associations, by these selfies that are being taken. A recent example was, when Mr. Akshay Kumar did an interview with Mr. Narendra Modi, and it was discussed again and again about how, even though they call it an apolitical interview, it was an extremely PR interview to show, a side of him that people don't know and all of that. And so these questions do come up as to saying that, association with the film, at the end of the day, Bollywood, like I say, film stars are hugely inspiring and influential themselves.
Of course, yes.
Association with them, when you put up pictures, when you do a certain way and they endorse you, it is sort of, helping in the PR of a particular person. Now, I'm not saying that is right or wrong, but how do you look at it?
So, sorry, in my opinion, the answer is really simple. I think I'll let Umang answer the complicated bit, but the answer is really simple. To me, Narendra Modi is the biggest superstar in this country. He's the biggest icon in this country. I don't think anybody will doubt that. The kind of reach he has, the kind of global reach that he has, I don't think any other star has. The kind of following that he has and the kind of dedicated following that he has. So I think it's the other way around. I think when a celebrity takes a picture with him and posts it, the celebrity gets more influence, the celebrity gets more reach, the celebrity gets more followers. When a celebrity takes a photograph, so if, for example, I take a photograph with Mr. Amitabh Bachchan today, I'm going to benefit from it, not Mr. Bachchan. So I think that's how it works.
So you think the questioning that Akshay faced after the interview was not sort of justified?
Well,
what did you think of it? You must have seen it.
We live in a democracy, Rudrani. People can question Akshay, people can question me, people can question the Prime Minister.
Sure.
A healthy democracy, people should have the right to question. You're sitting here questioning me right now.
Sure.
And I'm voluntarily here.
Yeah, and I love questioning you. No, but so you basically, what did you think of it? Okay, let me just put it that way. I'd like to know what you thought of the interview.
I thought it was interesting. I thought it was appealing to a non-intellectual type of very simple approach to a larger bottom of the pyramid constituent who wanted to know things, simple things like what happens generally when you do an interviews. Both the interviewer wants to come across as very intelligent and very well researched. The interviewee wants to come across as very intelligent and very well researched. Right? That's generally what happens when we see political figures being interviewed.
Sure.
But sometimes it's fascinating just to know common tidbits that you had no idea about. And I'm telling you this from a perspective, like, of course, the intellectual class panned it and said, "अच्छा आप आम कैसे खाते हैं? कौन से आम खाते हैं?" You know, all of that was funny. But to us, when we were researching on Modi ji, all the little things that people gave us as inputs were fascinating. अच्छा ऐसे करते थे वो. अच्छा ऐसे होता था. Like I'll give you an example. Umang and I think you brought it to me, right? In terms of research, we couldn't put in the film.
Yeah.
But he brought me a very interesting bit. He said, you know, he didn't have an iron. So he used to take a lota. He used to put hot koila inside it. And when it would be hot at the base, he would iron his kurta with a hot koila through the lota. Now this is a fascinating visual to us as filmmakers. We couldn't afford to put the scene in because in 2 hours and 15 minutes, it's very difficult to capture. I think Umang's done a brilliant job. But this is fascinating. Now, is it intelligent as a question? Is it intellectually stimulating? No, but it's an insight into someone's life.
You know,
Fair enough. Okay.
The
What
Akshay
about you?
Kumar interview
Yeah.
is like if I would have done an interview. Okay.
You mean
Non-political. Okay.
Interview him like a fan, you mean?
No, not a fan. I'm not a fan. I'm saying fan की तरह नहीं. As a human being, यार मेरे को पता करना है आप सुबह उठते हो तो बेड से इधर से उतरते हो कि उधर से उतरते हो. It's just silly questions. Okay. Very silly question. Why I ask? Because if I'm making a biopic, okay, I go into all this. When I'm making Sarabjit, when I'm making Mary Com, I was going into all this. यार लेफ्टी है तो पहले लेफ्ट हैंड से पहनते हो वो मैरी कॉम बॉक्सिंग ग्लव की इधर से. This is a silly question. And if I ask a person, if I'm like, you know, making a film on, yes, I'm asking like a fan. You know, कि आप उठते हो तो क्या पीते पानी पीते हो पहले या you know directly बाथरूम में जाते हो? Silly question.
Correct.
But I want to know.
Correct.
You know, and that is what the interview was.
I have one follow-up
I have a very
question.
interesting anecdote.
Sure.
Because I think I've been fortunate to have known Narendra Bhai since the time he was Chief Minister of Gujarat, interacted with him numerous times, seen his journey from CM to PM. So these guys used to all ask me a lot of questions.
Yeah.
And I remember the strangest question Omung asked was, how does he sleep?
Yeah.
And I said, what do you mean, how does he sleep? He says, no, like, how does he sleep? What's the way he sleeps? And I was like, okay, I've never seen him sleeping, man. I don't know how he sleeps. And why do you want to know? He says, I don't know, I think it'll be fascinating to see how he sleeps, and maybe I want to keep a shot of him sleeping and getting up, which eventually didn't happen in the film.
I know,
But I remember that was a very strange question that OK asked, and I was like, this is interesting, and I don't know about it. You know, kaisa sota aadmi?
I've gone on to Sarabjit, I've done this. I mean, if for Sarabjit, I wanted to see how Sarabjit would have lived in that 5 feet by 4 feet. Okay, I've told Randeep, this in his house, I made a demarcation of 5 feet by 4 feet. You're going to stay here. He took the shackles and stayed in his house and only walking in this much. So that experience you want to feel.
Yeah.
And that's how I do biopics.
You know, from what I understand, that you like attention to details.
That is there.
So Umangji, what I was surprised is when I read that you didn't even meet the PM or his comrades, per se, or his people in his team.
I didn't meet Gandhi. I didn't meet Sarabjit.
No, but he's a living figure. I think Gandhi is unfair to say. I mean, a lot of people who might not.
Sarabjit.
Sure, fair
Actually,
enough.
when
But
you started, Sarabjit was still alive.
but why?
No,
He passed on.
He's passed on. That movie
Yeah.
was supposed
So
to be
my
done.
point is that if you're making on someone who's there, wouldn't you want to meet him
I
and
didn't want
ask
to get
him?
influenced. See, I didn't want to get influenced, okay? But yet I wanted to know a lot about him. So he was my, you know, I would ask him details, like whatever he knows. Then reading books and reading and knowing things that are there on the net through the books and the people surrounding him. Okay, that helped me a lot. And that's why I'm saying I didn't want to get influenced by the person. वो होगा तो फिर कुछ और बोल दिया तो मैं उसको follow करके जाऊँगा क्या? You know, if I'm making a movie on Sarabjit, I'm asking Dalbir Kaur the questions, what is there. If मैरी कॉम पर पिक्चर बना तो उसके पति से पूछ रहा हूँ, उसके बच्चे से पूछ रहा हूँ, उनके बाजू में पूछ रहा हूँ कि ये actually है क्या? So from that point of view, I come to know the person very well. You know, that's how I've done this film.
You thought if you had met him one-on-one, you would have got more influenced?
No, I didn't want to, and that was not the whole idea. It was basically a book से हम लोग influence कर रहे थे. And we know that what we were working on, we knew that चाय वाला से PM करना है, and हमको पूरी story पता थी. And that's why I didn't want to.
But we met a lot of people who were
That's what I'm saying.
involved in his life
Who
at
were the
different
ones?
stages.
Like-
Many people. I mean, most of them wouldn't want to be named.
Okay.
But we met them, we asked them questions,
lot
on
of them.
their perspective on Modi ji. All of that. That was very interesting. You know,
I
from
went to
people
the
who were
gaon
just
also.
friends, yeah, in the village.
The village where he
lived, where
stayed,
he
where the
grew up.
घर अभी नहीं है, तो उनके बाजू वाले से कैसे थे, जिसको जो अभी रह रहा है उसके अंदर, उसके वहाँ 4 घर दूर वहाँ गए थे, हाँ मोदी जी यहाँ आते थे, यहाँ बैठते थे, यहाँ ये करते थे. So those are nicer things to come, you know, when you come to know.
Did you meet any of his political party associates? So give like to see how he works from that perspective?
Maybe it's not fair to name them.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We asked if you met Amit Shah. You apparently said in an interview you didn't. Not him, for sure. So you're not getting names here. Okay, fine. Fair enough. But you've met some. I like how both of them are like, I'm assuming that's supposed to be a yes. Apparently they have. So I'm assuming that. Okay, another aspect of which that you've obviously been making very clear कि ये propaganda नहीं है. You've said it's an inspiring story. It's in no way, like I said, in the beginning, you really wanted, again, you had said, I remember in another interview also, and you also said that, when movies can benefit from holiday dates, why couldn't we benefit from elections?
Yeah.
But the context there was very different, isn't it? It was not like because the movie was being said that it might influence, like we've spoken about influence so much. You didn't feel that added to people's perception that it's going to be a propaganda film? The fact that it was that because you all were fighting for it to sort of get released around the time, or if a lot of people on their films have postponed films a week or so, if things have got complicated. Here, of course, you all didn't have a choice. It was a ban that was put in. You didn't feel that it would have been...
Not at all. If my producer benefits from a good release, why not? Simple.
And
what did you think of it, Vivek?
So I look at it a little differently. I look at it as, nobody asks anybody why you release on Eid or Diwali.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel elections is a festival of democracy, and it doesn't belong to any one community. It belongs to all of us, Hindus, Muslims, Christians, everybody.
I agree.
So why not go out and celebrate it with a film? Okay. And who's stopping anybody else from making a film on any other political leader from any other political party? There's nobody stopping them.
You have the right to see the film or not. So what's...
The other thing is, I like what was mentioned. I can't quote exactly, but in the Supreme Court, the question was put to the EC, who claimed that the reason that they banned the film was it is a propaganda film, is that how can you say that it was a propaganda film on 2.5 minutes of a trailer? Why don't you go out there and watch the film first? So my whole idea is that even before, weeks before it released, when the trailer launched, people dubbed it a propaganda film. Nobody had seen it, but they dubbed it. ये propaganda film है. देखो 2.5 मिनट में हमको समझ में आ गया ये propaganda film है. 2.5 मिनट में आपको कैसे समझ में आ गया कि propaganda film है? Because you have decided पहले से ही कि इसको हमको propaganda film dub करना है, push करना है, controversial करना है ताकि ये बंद हो जाए, ताकि ये नहीं आए. Out of whatever fear and insecurity, I don't know. चौकीदार की लाठी में भी.
Yeah, I've heard you say चौकीदार का डंडा. But like you mentioned about Bhakts, saying that tell me, it is kind of true that they do call themselves Bhakt, and people who look up to him and believe that all his policies are absolutely perfect. But also the question that have arisen also, and especially because I'm going to talk about social media here, that when people have tried to comment, and like you said, they have been commenting. The barrage of hate that comes particularly from the Bhakts or the people who follow him is uncontrollable and is extremely nasty to a lot of people who sometimes try asking questions. They've said this has increased lately a lot during his ruling. Now, you all are somebody who, you believe in him as well, right? You obviously said that, you
I believe in his work.
In his work, you do, and you endorse the party as well.
His work, yes.
Not the party.
No, so I'm not somebody who belongs to any political party.
Okay.
Even though I think from 2004 was the first time that I was offered a Member of Parliament ticket. And I think since then I've been offered 4 or 5 times, including one by-election. And I've always said no. Because for me, the carrot was always कि नहीं हमारी party join कर लो, come on board, and then you can do so much better social work. But I always felt that being apolitical allows me to be able to work in more spheres, and I don't have to toe a party line. Because somebody who may be a senior leader from any political party goes out there and says something that I feel is demeaning to women, then I'm the kind of person who will vocally criticize it. And that may not be the best thing for the party. And that's what I tell people when they ask me join the party. I said, look, I have my own mind and I speak it no matter what. So I don't think I should belong to any political party. So that's why I stayed away from that aspect of things. And that's why when you say you believe in a party, I say, no, I believe in work. If I see today the Congress actually do good work, and not just attack the BJP or Narendra Modi on trying to create issues out of Rafale and stuff like that, but I see them actually do good work, I'd be very impressed. I personally feel that Nyay is a very political scheme, and it sends the wrong message of a dole system, which has never worked anywhere in any country in the world. I want people to have self-respect. I want people to be able to earn their money with rights and help the poor. I do. So people can't really point fingers at me and say, "Tumko kya malum hai?" Because I do work on the ground level with the poorest of the poor.
You don't have
And
to be in
I'll tell you,
politics, you
even
social
then,
work. You haven't
even
done that.
then, something I've noticed is people don't like saying, "Haath aise karo, hum tumko haath mein paise dete." People don't like it, but it's a drug. It's a bad habit. It's something that develops. You send generations into begging like this. That's something we shouldn't do in this country.
Vivek, and because you said that, you, even in the future, you like, of course, I think future is slightly pushing it there if I ask you, what do you plan in the future? But you've never harbored political ambitions. I know you said you don't want to, but my point is, have you harbored political ambitions?
No political
do you see
party,
yourself
no
eventually?
no political party will allow me to be a part of their party and yet be an independent mind. You have to toe a party line.
Yeah.
Now, that's a compromise today where I am.
Yeah.
I don't want to make. I have always spoken my mind at the cost of my personal life sometimes, at the cost of my career sometimes, at the cost of opportunities sometimes. But if I believe it's the right thing to do, then I believe it's the right thing to do and I speak it. And I try. I don't want to change that about me as a person.
You know, and fair enough. I think so. I mean, I know people still keep feeling that one day we'll see you probably campaigning from a particular party, but I don't think, like you said, in your head, if there's a party who will allow you to still critique them while you're a part of it, is the party probably you'd go for, which is going to be very difficult because political parties don't work that way.
Yes.
But what do you think of Omungji, what he said? It's very
joining
interesting.
a political party?
No, I don't think you. I don't know. I don't know about who's joining political party. But tomorrow, if you tell me, it can happen. But it's a very interesting point that he said right now. Ki, there are actors who've gone away this election. Also, you've seen people who are campaigning.
Yeah.
Some are campaigning for particular political leaders standing up from that constituency. Some are themselves there. What he said is a very important point. What do you think of this? Because
he does good otherwise also. You don't have to join a party to do it.
I agree.
I keep getting surprises. Okay, we were judging a show together, and
Of course.
yeah, and suddenly somebody would come that we are in this organization. Says, yeah, my organization helps your organization, or come and meet me. So he does so much.
I know he does.
Which he's not talking about.
Yeah, he
So why
doesn't.
do you have to join a party to do all that?
Which is why I
know?
think it's people know his work is genuine, because I know him for
Yes.
years and I know that he has been doing a lot for,
Which is
besides just not for
excellent.
cancer, it's a lot that I hear.
Yeah, which is
other-
excellent. I get surprised. I was like, hello, when do you do this? When do you have the time to? So everybody, so many.
So he'll not be the right fit because he's not very.
I
he's
don't
very
want
direct.
him to get. Yeah.
मतलब अब झूठ नहीं बोल पाएगा ज़्यादा तो फिर problem
नहीं सच बोलता ज़्यादा सच बोलता है फिर वो
होगी।
problem हो जाता है।
No, that's important.
No, which is good ना. तो then why do you have to join? And सब लोग ना label कर देते हैं. Without label, if he's doing everything, that's his choice. Yeah.
Fair enough. And because he said that he is among the few people who says whatever is in his heart without thinking too much, there are very few people like that in the fraternity as well. बहुत लोगों को, besides the fact that of course there are camps. I know people have said it before. You have groups, and you all are within there like any other place as well. Nobody wants to come forward and directly say anything when things are wrong. Of course, when issues happen, even in Bollywood, a lot of film directors have said कि जब हमारी मूवी को censorship की problems होती है या बहुत कम लोग आते हैं, of course जो आते हैं लेकिन इंडस्ट्री अगर एक साथ होती ऐसे मामलों में तो बहुत हेल्प होता. And besides that, actors personally do not want to comment on things that are political in the country. Well, and people have said, why not? Why is it that you don't want to comment in it? What is your vichardhara on this?
To each his own, na? I think it's a free country. If somebody wants to comment, they comment. If they don't want to, they don't comment. That's a different story. But as a community, if you belong to the film industry, to me, I am upset with myself today for not doing enough when Sanjay Leela Bhansali was treated so badly. He's an iconic director of this industry. He's somebody who's made us proud in India and overseas. And he was thrust around, slapped around. People misbehaved with him at the time he was trying to make a film. Now, that to me is unfair and uncool. And if there are people that are uniting against a film, then there should be the film fraternity, which is a very powerful, very influential fraternity that should come together and say, hey, you know, in the South, I've done 4 films, 1 in each language. And the one thing I love about the Southern industry is they're very united. Across, whether it's Tamil, Telugu, they're very united. They stand together. If there's an issue, they stand together. They may have independent political views, they may have independent, but when it comes to cinema, they're always together. That's why the piracy rates are lower. That's why they were able to introduce the Gunda Act against pirates when there was physical piracy. We've never been able to do that. We're 20 years behind them in terms of the kind of approach that they've taken and the solidarity that they've shown.
Yeah. I'm sure you want to weigh in on this because this is something that, you know, you'd like to say.
No, I mean, we were like wondering why people are not supporting, you know, this our film as such. We met other actors. They straight away said, "नहीं यार, इसमें हाथ नहीं डालते," because then नीचे जो trolls आते हैं, we get thrashed. It's simple. I mean, people have been honest enough to tell me that. You know,
it's like this thing, na? They say that, and tell me your experience also, because I've been seeing this, that the whole perspective, like Rudrani said, is that you know, the Bhakts, they attack people and they're very aggressive. But we've been attacked from the other side. Equally aggressive. Rose gali. Every single day, anything that I say, I receive galis. I was called yesterday, some day before yesterday, I was called a bootlicker.
In your case,
a bootlicker of the divider-in-chief. This is what I was called yesterday. I've done 18 years of cinema. Forbes has named me as the top 40 philanthropists under the age of 40 in this country. I'd like to understand the credentials of the person who's calling me a bootlicker. I have built something in my life.
Can I say something here? You've been tackling the trolls way before the PM Narendra Modi came in. You are, which you also, I'm sure you'll agree, that people have been, here of course we're talking about particular trolls from, in your case, this has been happening since forever, since I think internet sort of came in, because
trolls are bullies, basically. Whoever they are, whichever side they belong to, they're bullies. And the thing is, I feel that they have, like you said, they have too much time on their hands. 2, I feel that they have, you know, the ones who are just abusive and attack, and you know, the ones who are witty and funny, even if they're against me. I take a look at it and I sometimes share it with my friends and say, how funny is this? Even if it's about me, even if it's something that's, you know, making fun of me, I share it, I laugh. But when it's just aggressive, abusive or disrespecting to women, then I think it's just such a waste of time and energy. You should just ignore it and move forward.
You know, Vivek, we cannot take it from the fact that there was a time where you absolutely ruled the box office because of the kind of cinema that you chose. You know, and my favorites being Company and a lot more, Sathiya and all of that. So I wanted to ask, and I always felt that, and a lot of people want to ask, that is it because there are not great offers being given to you anymore, because there is a great actor still there, alive? And do you have any regrets in that department?
So I never regret. I don't believe in the concept of regrets. Regrets, you can only regret something in the past. Past you can't change. I believe in casting my future, molding it. I believe in focusing on that. The whole process of this exercise, say for example, when you say being offered a great role, not being offered a great role, that's not in your hands. But I remember when Sandeep told me that I'm making this film and I'd like you to play PM Narendra Modi. It took me less than 30 seconds. I turned around and said, I'm doing it. And he said, what? I said, yeah, I'm doing it. Now what? So he's like, now what? Okay, give me some time. Now I need to figure it out. I didn't know it'd be this easy. And I was like, yeah. Because when you see a great character, you jump on it. I remember Omung having a conversation with me saying, yeah, I'm tired of making biopics. People will just think I only make biopics. I said, look, you're a biopics expert. And as biopics go, this journey, you've never gone into the political space. This journey will expand Omung's, space as a director. I personally think this is his best work. I think he's just outdone himself because of the complexity, the time period, and to be able to tell such a complex story in 2 hours, 15 minutes sharp, to take you through such a journey and keep it constantly interesting and not boring, lectury, very pravachan types, to keep it engaging. That's tough, and I think he's done a phenomenal job.
which he has a big hand in because he's the writer also. He writes fantastic dialogues. Nobody knows about it. We were surprised.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, if I would have been got stuck on something, says लिख लेते, he would have come up with superb lines. Bloody hell, ये तो चाहिए. ऐसा नहीं, यही चाहिए. It's fantastic.
So you got help there as well.
Oh yeah. I'm fully dedicated. No, that's what I like about it.
So tell me, both of you, since the first look came out, there were also a lot of memes that got made.
Right.
A lot of, I think few of them were very funny.
Yeah.
And might be mean, but they were funny.
Yeah. As
What
long
did
as
you
they're
think,
witty,
Vic?
they're okay.
Yeah?
I have a laugh. I have a good sense of humor. I laugh at myself. I'm self-effacing. I believe in taking it like a sport.
What did you think?
No, I love. I mean, we have a good laugh as it is every time. I mean, I've been facing
I know
it through.
We share it. No?
Yeah,
With
we
each
share
other,
it
we
also.
laugh.
We send it like on WhatsApp. Hey, ye dekha kya? Like, I've been going through like from Aishwarya, what was happening in Sarabji till like before, after.
Well,
this,
even
that.
Mary Com.
Mary Com also.
Yeah.
It's like people laughed. And how can Priyanka Chopra look like Mary Com?
They said the same thing about me also, right?
Yeah.
Before the transformation.
Picture dekho, fir dekho.
You know, the social media team, they got in touch with us just after our first trailer came out, right? And their immediate thing was, sir, they've been, normally a big film gets 50,000 odd comments. We've got close to 150,000 odd comments. I was like, okay, that's a good thing. I said, well, you know, sir, a lot of them are negative comments too. A lot positive, a lot negative too. I mean, 70-30 ratio of positive to negative. So I said, so is that a good thing? They said, sir, engagement is always a good thing. So I have nothing to say to the trolls, but thank you.
Okay, then that's one way to look at it. I really wanted to ask this question also because I know you and I know how you look at things, especially when it comes talking about safety for women, men, and otherwise.
Sure.
When you read the report about the minor accusing Sandeep Singh of harassment,
Sure.
what happened? What did you do and how did things go by? What were you thinking at the time?
So, firstly, I had a straight-up conversation with Sandeep and asked him that, you know, is this true? Is this real? What happened? I heard his version of the story. And, of course, his version of the story was that this was completely false. It was a false allegation. And it was kind of an entrapment, right? Trying to get him stuck in for blackmailing him for money. Because he was actually there during that time to make a film, to shoot a film in Mauritius. Now, the thing, luckily, is I know a lot of people in Mauritius. I know the Prime Minister there. I know the Chief of Police there. I know everybody there. I've been, you know, interacting with them a lot. Planning to do something in Mauritius in a big way. So I actually did my own background check. I picked up the phone. I called up the police chief. I called up the Prime Minister's office and found out. And they said that, look, we did a thorough investigation. There was nothing on the security cameras. There was no proof of it because it was in a resort which was full of security cameras everywhere. So there was no proof, no visual proof or evidence of them, you know,
Entering the
room or walking together or any kind of abusive behavior. The second thing they said that when we asked the person to give evidence, the person backed out. And then when there was a possible potential counter allegation of blackmail to them, they disappeared.
They've withdrawn the case, you say?
They disappeared from there. So then the police gave him a written, documented clean sheet from the chief of police of the country, not from a police station, of the country. Gave him a documented clean sheet. Despite that too, you know, kind of play this up and harm the reputation of a young and upcoming producer who's got a great body of work. I want Sandeep Singh to be known as what? The guy who's co-produced Baji Rao, Ram Leela, Mary Com, Rowdy Rathore, he's done Sarabjit, he's done Aligarh, he's done PM Narendra Modi. And not because, you know, the minute you type his name, it should come, you know, sexual abuse allegation or alleged. That's enough to damage the reputation of somebody good. And I feel that ask questions as a media, but be responsible. Do a little research. Just because someone told you, you print it. No.
Fair enough. I think I asked.
So the only request I have of the media is next time, maybe a little more responsibility. Before you print an allegation, there is the official authorities. The government was clear. If they could share it with me, they were sharing it with everybody. It's a written document. It's clear for all to see. I think it's better to have that kind of a cross-verification before we print that.
Sure. And I think getting quotes from Sandeep Singh would have also helped, which I think they should have done from both sides. And but now we've asked, and you've cleared that. To sort of course, now 24th May is when you finally got the release date of this. You've been taking questions everywhere like a boss. That I'll give it to you. You've not. This is something that you've done from very early in your career. Not running away from questions, which is what I appreciate a lot as well. But there's one thing that I always wanted to know. What is it that you want that people will see the film and take away? If you say, like you said, it's an inspiring story, sure, look at it as an inspiring story. But since you've done the film, and as an actor, I don't know if you were able to sort of put away your own personal liking towards him, or will that help making the character better if you like somebody during a biopic? But did that all help you, A? And what do you want them to take up?
I think for me it's very clear. I'd love for people to go see this film on 24th of May and as a celebration of Modi ji coming back for another 5 years in this country. I'd like them to take their family, their kids to see the film, because I really think it's an inspirational story even for kids to see. Today most kids who are privileged, we have a problem यार. हमको लगता है कि मेरे father ने मुझे ये दिया होता तो मैं भी उसकी तरह वो कर सकता था. That kid became successful because his dad took him to a good coach. You see Dhoni's story, it's inspirational. Where did he come from? What kind of humble beginnings? And then he made it a captain of India. Similarly, this film is very inspirational for people who feel like, no, how can I go and change politics? Yeah, I mean, I don't have any connect, I don't have a lobby. He did it without being a caste leader, even though he's from OBC. He did it without money, he had none. He did it without any fancy surname and generations of politicians. He just was focused to do good for his country. That's all it takes to be a great political leader.
You'd like to add something to that?
For me, zero to hero film always I get inspired.
The story of the underdog, you mean?
It's a written rule for everyone. You feel for that person. You want to be. You get attached to it. Kaise kiya hai? And this is a simple story for me. Like I'm telling you, when I started this film, we both had a conversation. यार political मेरे को नहीं आता, कुछ नहीं पता क्या नहीं. But मैं उसके ऊपर ध्यान भी नहीं दूंगा.
वो part आपके लिए जरूरी बिल्कुल नहीं था.
नहीं था. एक person के बारे में story बनाओ. When you go and see the film, you'll come to know यार क्या था, इतना क्या बोल रहे थे propaganda ये सब. It's a nice, clean, beautiful film. और मेरे को कुछ भी नहीं समझ आता है.
It's not at all political.
Not at all. And that's the best part. You'll be on the edge of the seat because it's like thak, ye ho raha. We won't leave you. And finally, when you come out, it's like, Arey, हाँ यार, fantastic. That's what I love. And I think everybody will be inspired by seeing this film and going ahead in the house like, नहीं, कुछ तो अलग देखा हमने आज.
You want the film to do the talking now. You all have done enough of defending it. You all feel you all have been defending it more than you all have done any other film?
Yeah, in fact, this whole interview was just defending. अपने picture के बारे में तो कुछ पूछा ही नहीं हमने कुछ.
Excuse me?
We are making a movie called PM Narendra Modi.
I think...
when it shot, you didn't ask. When we went to Harshil, it was very cold, you didn't ask that.
Minus 20.
So, minus 20.
I feel all those questions have been asked. And I thought through this interview, I have actually come to know the kind of effort you all put in the research. I don't think that I saw in other interviews. I came to know how you want him to sleep and all of that, and attention to detail, which is an important part as well.
Right.
But interesting. This was not, but this was not personal at all. This is not personal at all. I feel that, like I said, you all have been taking questions like a boss, and I'm sure I think that we should let the movie do the talking now. Forever. Before I let you go, I have to ask you, Vivek, we were supposed to hear about that amazing place that you were creating in Gujarat, where you had invested. What is happening to that?
Well, it is still under development. As we speak, there's still work going on the site. The roads have come up. The plots have started being developed. The planting has started being done. Trees are being put together.
Yeah.
Real estate projects generally have a longer timeline, especially if they're not just a building. If you're trying to create a whole ecosystem and you're trying to do it, I have some problems where I personally have a little too much affinity towards eco-friendly, sustainable, so water harvesting, solar power. So all of that makes it a little longer, a little more difficult because you're putting in that much more preconditions on your team. So, but yeah, it's doing well. Thank you for asking.
So Goa and Gujarat will come.
That's right.
There you are. I think people are going to be very happy listening to this, besides other things they're going to be happy about in Gujarat. But thank you once again.
Thank you.
I had a lot of fun. And like I said, I really enjoyed doing it. I hope you have as well.
Yes,
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.